Hello everyone and welcome back to World of Tanks with Black Knight. And well, today we've got another review for you guys. It's about the T28 Concept, or also known as the T28 HTC Heavy Tank Concept. And yeah, you get a lot of jokes. Yeah, Samsung is better. Well, I think Nokia is better, but that's my opinion. So please keep your opinions to yourselves. This is about the T28 Concept and it's a tank. And no, there's no Kia. But there is a lot of armor. And the top speed ain't that bad actually. I expected it to be having a top speed of about 23-24 kilometers per hour. Just like the T28. Because, well, it does have a lot of weight and stuff. What it doesn't have is a good gun, but that's something we're going to discuss later in this video. Let's first start off with, well, how huge this tank just is. And yeah, I'm not joking around. This is T28 Heavy Tank Concept for as far as you can see it. I cannot make this any smaller or anything, so at this moment. But if we're going to click the T95, which is still in my garage because it's my favorite tier 9 tank. It's almost just big as a T95. Although the gun is a lot smaller, but there's not that much a difference. And it's only a tier 7 tank. It does have 880 hit points. Seems a little bit low for a tank that has, well, a gun that isn't really that good, but it does have enough penetration and damage potential. I do seem to have a lot of shots going wide or low damage rolls, but that ain't really that bad because you're firing pretty fast. It says 8.44 reload time, but it actually is a 8.42 reload time with a gun rammer and a crew ventilation. And well, that's a crew from my T123, so you can train crew from other, well, American tank destroyers on this tank without losing crew skills or stuff like that. Talking about the tank anymore, the weight limit is 73 tons. The actual weight is 71.6 tons with equipment mounted. Will be about 70 tons without the equipment mounted. An engine power of 960 horsepower. That's quite a lot for 70 tons. And well, it's not going to give any speed or weight per or power to weight ratio, but well, it's not too surprising since it's tank destroyer and will be camping a lot. It has a top speed of 29 kilometers per hour, as I said earlier. That's kind of a surprise to me, but also a little bit of the downside of this tank. Although it's faster than the counterpart tier 7 premium tank from the British, the AT-15A, which actually has a top speed of 20 kilometers per hour and also a smaller engine, but it has more frontal armor. So actually that one's slower and holds you back more. Also with the gun that does less damage. The traverse speed is really bad. 18 degrees per second. And I tried to turn this tank around to catch some medium tanks. And not even the faster medium tanks, the slower ones. And I couldn't actually keep up with those. So you'll be in trouble if there's a medium tank near you. And yeah, the hull armor, frontal hull armor, is magnificent. 203 millimeters, all around there. And yeah, 101 millimeters on the side. But if you start side scraping, there's still quite a lot of frontal hull armor you can see. And the side armor is, well, behind that little turret there. Now the rear armor, yeah, let's just assume that anything that gets behind you will penetrate. And most HE shells will penetrate too. And, well, the standard shell damage, actually then we'll have to take out the gun. Here. Average rate of fire is 6 rounds per minute, a little bit higher if you got a gun rammer with crew ventilation mounted. An average penetration of 181 millimeters, so that's higher than the most tier 7 tanks have. Although I must say the Tiger and T29 are exceptionally high on the penetration. The IS and KV3 exceptionally low, and IS2, but most of them have a little bit lower penetration than 181. The most tank destroyers have a little bit higher penetration than 181 millimeters. And well, to check that out, I confirmed this gun against the 105mm gun from the T28 AT. That is a tier higher gun, and it has a lower rate of fire, a lower penetration, the same damage. So the average damage is the same, but it's the same caliber gun, so not much of a difference there. The dispersion is higher, but well, higher dispersion means worse. The aiming time is longer, so you'll be aiming a lot more too. But since the T28 Concept is slower than the T28 AT, you'll actually have to aim less long if you do not turn your tank around. And even turning your tank is very slow, so the dispersion or the aiming reticle will not increase that much. And well, the actual gun reload time, well, we had I said something about that, and it's actually 0.02 seconds faster than it actually says here. You can make it even faster if you take a Brothers in Arms skill on your crew. And well, gun traverse speed 18 degrees per second. That is pretty good. It reacts pretty fast, and the gun arc is, well, it's magnificent. For a tank destroyer that looks like a moving bunker, the gun arc is, well, terrific. I really like it. And well, the view range, the actual view range is higher because I got a good commander in it, but the base view range is 570 meters, 370 meters, and base signal range is, well, it's a bit lacking, 570 meters. Might put a, well, commander also is a radio man here. If you take a look at the skills, commander and radio operator skill, you can extend the view range with your radio operator skills and your commander skills, which I am doing at this moment with recon. But you can also increase your signal range by using signal boosting. But on this tank, signal boosting might be useful. On the T123, which has a signal range of 745 meters, it's not that useful, because you're mostly on the front lines with that tank, and this tank also is a lot on the front lines because of that 203 millimeters of frontal armor. You'll be pushing a hole inside the enemy lines, and your team will have to take advantage of that. Doesn't always happen, and mostly the enemies will start converging on your position. And well, since this tank is pretty neat in angling and stuff like that, you'll probably see a lot of shells bouncing off the front for not knowing where to shoot. I'm not going to point out where to shoot this tank, except on the sides and rear by flanking it, but well, a heavy tank flanking, I wouldn't count on it. A medium tank flanking with the community in World Tanks, I still wouldn't count on it. But the miracles aren't out of the world yet. And yeah, about the equipment, I've got a large caliber gun rammer, a crew ventilation. Those two are quite mandatory, and the heavy spall liner I did have artillery shooting at me. You do find a lot of KV2s against you in this tank because it's a tier 7 tank. It does get a lot of tier 6 tanks against it. But instead of the heavy spall liner, you could also go for the extra aiming speed, which might be useful, or the camo netting. But for the rest, yeah, toolbox isn't needed if you take repair skills. Binocular telescope or coated optics. Well, the coated optics might be a little bit useful, but it will give you only a 37 actual view range bonus on top of the base view range, so that ain't that much. And the binocular telescope, you have to be stationary for a while, and well, let's just say I haven't really stood stationary for a while with this tank, because when I'm finally at the front lines, there's someone at the other flank that just screwed up, and I have to turn around, which isn't very fast, head back, and when I'm back, well, the enemy is already there and they have already spotted you, and you will be inside their spotting range. So binocular telescope to get a longer distance view on your enemies isn't going to work on this tank. So I've gone with the most, well, logic choice, the heavy spall liner, and only this tank has a heavy spall liner in my garage, because the T95 uses a super heavy spall liner, the mouse uses a super heavy spall liner, the TOC 2 doesn't have any equipment on my case, the Tortoise does also have a super heavy spall liner, the 8015 doesn't have a spall liner mounted, all that kind of stuff. So all in all, that's about the choice you got. And well, just put a crew from another tank destroyer on this tank and start training if you get this tank eventually. It took me quite a while, because well, if you take a look at all these missions here, I haven't done the light tank missions except for one. Yeah, I had to run a light tank, but a lot of these here medium tanks I was with, let's see, this one I had a few, I had about a week that I couldn't finish this mission. So yeah, I actually finished it. Or what was it? This one took me quite a few matches. Also, where is it? This one, a heavy target, took me quite a few of battles. And in the TD battles, doing 5000 damage is actually pretty hard. Unless you're pretty lucky. And the area of effect, where you had to hit 3 enemy vehicles with one single shot. Although I did a lot longer over hitting 2 enemies with one shot. Because, well, I did upload a replay to What Replays. I'm going to put the link down in the description. To, well, actually show you guys that I hit 5 enemies with one shot. You can download the replay and watch it. And then think like, yeah, but you could have done that a lot earlier. Yeah, I could have. But I didn't. That's the thing. But, well, that's enough about this tank. Crew skills, I shouldn't be talking about the crew skills, since you'll be training crew from other tank destroyers in this tank. Unless you don't play American tank destroyers, because they're slow and sluggish, and the guns mostly don't behave at higher tiers. But when they do, they're funny and great. But yeah, if you're going to play this, if you're going to get this tank and you're going to keep it, I would advise going for the American tank destroyers. And if you like this tank, well, the T95 is actually the big brother of this tank. Although it's a lot slower, it's exactly the same playstyle. Don't worry about high explosive shells. Just drive forward and hope the enemy doesn't get around your flank and hit you in the side or rear. Although the T95 side armor is quite a lot and spaced. But yeah, let's just show you guys some gameplay. I've got 3 replays for you guys. Also, links of those 3 replays down in the description, from the first to the last in order. And we're just going to run through those 3 replays and see what you guys think of this tank after you've seen what you can do with it. So for the first replay, we've well, got about the perfect matchup for this tank. Only 4 tier 7s in each team, and well, I could see right at the beginning of this match, well, that the enemy team wasn't that much better than my own team. That this battle would be actually pretty nice if I went to the right position. Saying that this would be my first tank in this game, and that this thing's actually huge. Flak bus driving up the hill. Well, that's not gonna work. And someone makes a joke about Samsung being better. Yeah, I wouldn't know. But in Dutch we've got a saying called, when you make a joke like that, you're tasteless, or well, you need some salt to bring the sourness up a bit. Should have aimed, but well, 4 hits, where I could have gotten only 1. And none of those 4 did any damage, so it brings me closer to a steel wall medal. That's always nice. Oh, T150, that's my spot. Come on guys, someone hit it. Ah, nice. Straight into his fuel tank. Turned it on fire. He bounced on me, T25 bounced, and KV2 did 188 damage. First shot of the KV2 though, surprising. Only 55 damage. And that was a 152mm gun. High explosive shell. Okay, that's the Stuk 4. Bye. A bit German through there. Oh, KV2 actually managed to hit my drive wheel. There I do have a little bit lower armor. That's 4 enemies down because I spotted them. Well, the stats of this replay, as of the with the other ones, will be down below in the link description. Oh, Target 2 coming up. I see a tiger. Don't fully aim and miss my shot because the tiger went back even more. And well, we'll just let the Target 2 pass because he's got 1400 hit points and we, well, barely have half left. It seems we do not really get another shot into the KV2. Oh, that's a bit of a bummer. The KV2 actually missed the target. Yeah, who's surprised? How can you miss a target? And we've also been hit by that T25/2, but we didn't spot him. So that means he must be somewhere out of our spotting range. If that's the case, then where is he? He could be behind the KV2 for a moment there, but if he's still there, he would be spotted now. That's the inaccuracy of the gun I was talking about. 0.4 at 100 meters. And I wasn't fully aimed there yet, that's true, but yeah. Sniping with this tank, you should have good crew for it. And I do have a 100% crew with 1 crew skill, but that ain't good crew. That's just trained crew. Good crew is 4 skills, 4 skills. And that one went into the building. Yeah, into the single piece of wood that it could go into. It went into that. And there's something wrong with the replay system there. But KV2 missed me. Thought I was more to the left, more behind. Another shot missed him just by an inch. And Cromwell managed to survive. On the other flank, Hellcat and Flagbus are still alive there, but not going to support the Cromwell anymore. Although they can both keep up with the Cromwell. KV2 doesn't really know what to do. And the T25/2. Although he does have a better chance against surviving against the Cromwell when backing up the KV2 than doing this. Although this first shot was bad aim. Poor aiming. Completely wasted the shell there. And it could have been dead already if the E-25 just kept on shooting him. But E-25 didn't. I was thinking, yeah, I'm not reloaded yet, he's going to rush on, but he didn't do that either. And he disappears. Cromwell finished off the KV2 in the meantime by taking some damage, but yeah. Oh yeah, I did take 15 hits. And then I get a low roll. Could have finished him off if I got a high damage roll, but yeah, sometimes you're just not allowed to get kills. With 29 kilometers per hour, E-25 takes a long way around, thinking, oh yeah, the artillery is still around there too. But with the Cromwell moving there, there's artillery. This is one hell of a crazy moment. I survive with just 31 hit points left. And, well, we finished the game. He did hit my top armor there. So, weakly armored part of the tank. Weakly armored with a bigger high explosive shell. Although 155 millimeters or something. Yeah, it tends to do some damage. And you saw that it did damage. So, that's something you have to be careful about. This ball liner did save me there, so... But, well, this was the second game in this tank. The one you saw just now was the first game in the tank. And it was an ace tanker badge. And this game, well, also an ace tanker badge game, is against tier 8. And it's not a, well, pretty neat matchup. But it's a team game. You do not have to do everything on your own. Although getting an ace tanker badge on a tank where everyone's bad at seems to be pretty easy. And I saw Circon play in it. Circon was like, I don't like this tank. Quickie Baby, I haven't seen Quickie Baby play in it. But I can tell you that Quickie Baby might be one of the 1% that actually did have a few matches that were better than mine. This tank seems to be capable of doing quite a lot of damage when I play with it. And things like that. I tracked him somehow. IS-3 finishes him off. And A43 calls someone a hacker. Me. Well, he reported someone. Me or the IS-3 because, well, he probably didn't see me. And I didn't get spotted, it seems. T29 too far away to spot me and not stationary when he is able to spot me if he has the view range. And there's also a 3 in the way. That might help a bit too. And that's the first shot that does any damage on the T29. You might be surprised, how can you not penetrate a T29? But he's actually side scraping pretty good there. Hiding his body at a good angle. What he does show off its body is the track. And it's at such an angle that you can't actually penetrate it. Oh yeah, and there were 3 light tanks going this way. 2 of which have already died. And the other flank has just collapsed. T29 moves away to deal with a T34. And I spot the danger. And someone is already complaining about good job team. Okay, So you're complaining. Let's head back. Someone defend the base? Anyone defend the base? Oh well, if no one's going to defend the base, I'll just head back and wait for the team to finish the enemy off in the north. There's 2 enemies there spotted now. And, I don't know who spotted them. I don't think I did, because I wasn't spotted. Another one spotted. Yeah, that one's actually behind a hill. Now I did get spotted. 3601H actually got his viewport higher than the building there for a moment, so he actually spotted me. But no worries. Yak Panther 2, well, I can't defend something that has his back towards the enemy. I call out for help, and the Carnifon reacts affirmative. Try to pick up the pace towards the base now a bit, but yeah, I got enough time. VK spotted. At the last moment I did get a silhouette, but yeah, LTTB needs help more than I do. And I seem to be able to hit the guy right there. 364 damage, that's a nice average roll. He's dead. Yak Panther 2 manages to finish him off. AMX-12T finishes off the LTTB, too bad. I forced the 12T to search for another covered spot, but there he's in a pincher position. And I'm able to finish him off easily. So, oh, look at that. Sniping is not for this gun. And then he hits a shot at the back of an AMX-48 at over 450 meters. Sometimes RNG just loves me. But the other ones are behind solid cover. If he would have moved back a bit more, it would have been a terrific shot if it hit. Borsig just got killed by E25. T34 got killed by 1375. And now we're left with a full HP T28 Concept, which isn't a very fast and a nimble tank, but does have a pretty decent gun. Half health, or actually 1/3 health, Yak Panther 2, and an almost dead Carnifon. Carnifon isn't a one-shot for 2 of the 4 tank enemies, but still, it's a Carnifon. It doesn't have the most amazing armor. 1375 got spotted. Quick aim. My shot came first, so I did more damage. Carnifon finished him off almost at the same second my shell hit. But hold on a second. There's 2 enemies left. We only had 3 spotted in the north. Where's the last one? Oh, if we take a look at the minimap, we see a Hellcat as a last known spotted position. We might actually be thinking that he stayed there, or he might actually have gone to the north to help his allies. But why would you go north to help your allies when you're all alone on the other flank, where your team just pushed with everyone that was there except you and failed? Maybe he could have made a difference by going along with them, but we'll never know because he didn't. And that actually gave away the flank, because Hellcat, that's fast, nimble, has a, well, pretty decent 90mm gun. Should be staying back, of course, because it has no armor. He might actually be watching Jingles' videos, where he says like, oh yeah, Hellcat can do 72 km/h. Let's rush forward and die. Yeah, he's not like that. T69 is blaming the loss on the E25. And E25 is blaming the loss on his team. If he was saying stay back, defend, because we still have 2 tier 8s and a tier 7. And tier 7 is still full health. He might actually have been right to start defending. But we were also in a position where we could relocate to our own base quickly and attack easily on multiple sides. And yeah, I was waiting here for the E25 because it was a pretty good player. You can also see the clan tag on top of there. And yeah, E25, that's actually a pretty good player. Well, he's waiting for us, it's being said now. And if he didn't say that, I would have waited until the E25 was spotted. And I would have come too late to save my teammates. Then it would have been me against an E25. An E25 can do 64 kilometers per hour. And I can do 29 kilometers per hour. An E25 can turn pretty damn fast. And my turning rate is pretty damn slow. E25 did get spotted though. There again. He spotted again. Carnarvon and Yak Panther 2 still at the same health pool as before. Have rushed it and are now facing off. Carnarvon decides to rush him. And E25, being a good player as he is, makes the correct choice to turn around early, I guess. Bounces shot from the Carnarvon, but bounces two shots on the Carnarvon then. Got hit by the Carnarvon after that. But finishes off the Carnarvon, takes cover behind it, so the Yak Panther 2 can't hit him. Yak Panther 2 has to move forward to actually be able to use a bit of the cover himself, but E25 is smart and keeps moving. Gets one damaging shot in on the Carnarvon, 3 bounces on the Yak Panther, 3 bounces, moves back. Yak Panther misses a second time, but then I get in and I finish him off. That could have ended pretty badly. And this last battle, again in a tier 8 match, because I'm now platooned up with a Yak Tiger 88 in my team. Also a clanmate, and some of his replays also featured in earlier videos of mine. A Rocket Soldier, and well, he's not a bad player. He's actually becoming a pretty good player himself, and I enjoy playing with him. I have played with him quite a lot of times, and well, he installed World of Tanks lately again because he had a bit of trouble with his PC, I think. But yeah, couldn't play or something like that, or didn't want to play. But now he's playing again. He took his Yak Tiger 88, which has preferred matchmaking and can only get into maximum tier 9 games. My tank doesn't have preferred matchmaking, but it's a tier lower, so we're still at the same matchmaking. Although tier 7 to 9 or tier 8 to 9. With this gun, I'm quite capable of getting around in a tier 8 game. And I don't think that WZ111, oh, AMX12T, never mind. I don't think that WZ131 actually knew how thick my armor is. Okay, never mind that anymore. IS-3 moved away from my right flank, so I'll just take up his position to block any light tanks that might come by this way. Like that Chevy. He misjudged this situation a little bit. There's also a Yak Tiger 88 behind him, an enemy, and yeah, I can't hit him. There's a building in the way. But Rocket Soldier, hull down position against a Yak Tiger that is not hull down. Yeah, a hull down Yak Tiger 88 is mostly going to win battles like that, or fights like that. The enemy did know it. He did pull back into the safety of, well, not solid cover, but at least camouflage, and disappeared. So Rocket Soldier had to find another target. 3002 M, nope, not a shot there. I also did have a shot there. Chevy not pulling out, but oh dear, let's take a look at that. Oh, did aim a little bit too high. And got a little problem with my throat, but the second shot does seem to penetrate. And this is where my reload time is a little bit too low. T34-2 actually gets a second damaging shot in on me. And he does aim for my weak spot. And yeah, I'm not going to tell where my weak spot is, but I think you noticed by now. Another shot, not fully aimed, but again below average. Seems to be something with this gun that gives it a below average roll. Around, well, a lot of shots. But when it hits a lot higher than average roll, it is satisfying because, well, another 8.5 seconds later, he'll be firing another one. So, and it's nice to fire that fast. Although a little bit faster would be nicer, since this tank isn't too fast with the top speed, and even slower with the turning speed. Oh, Tiger 2 side. Never miss that opportunity. IS-3 bounces on the front. IS-3 gun does have more than enough penetration to penetrate my frontal armor, and Tiger 2's gun also has more than enough penetration. But yeah, Tiger 2 doesn't have the ability to hit another shot into me. IS-3 just fired, is pulling back, and that's a little higher than average roll, and right at my right moment too. And that's, well, 2 kills. Easy 8 got finished off because, well, he should have let me take the hit. IS-3 doesn't pull forward again, and that's the end of this battle for me. And as promised, also said it in the first match and during the stat talk through, all the links to the replays, on what replays, will be down below. So you can check out the statistics for yourself and how good or bad the enemy teams actually were. So I hope all of you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. This was the T28 Concept tank.